Hello and welcome to the Daily Azeroth, Episode 3. Real quick to mention, I mentioned that we're going to be leveling from 1 to 85. This is just going to be footage of us questing in Ashenvale. This is the beginning of Ashenvale. We both feel that it's fun and you should definitely take a look at it. Although we recommend that you do it with just by yourself, because when you're doing two people it's a pain because there's a lot of pickup quests and a lot of quests where you have to talk to people to trigger them to chop down blocks of wood and drop it at their feet. So please advise, but most definitely check it out. Today's video, we're going to be talking about our favorite dungeon. We've been dungeoning a lot lately, and it brought us to think, what is our favorite dungeon? So let me ask you, what is your favorite dungeon?
I could say there's so many memories with all the dungeons I've played, and it's the 7 years that I've been playing. Each one, even though I've had bad runs on even my favorites,
On all of them.
I could say that I enjoy almost every dungeon in the game to an extent. There's some I really don't like, and a lot of them are level 40 through 50, with the exception of Zul'Farrak, one of my favorites. But given the fact that I don't really like a lot of the 40 through 50 dungeons, even 40 through 58, I really get a lot of refreshment out of hitting Burning Crusade content. And one of the most profound stages of Burning Crusade content for me is the Hellfire Ramparts, the first dungeon you can unlock in the game at level 58. I believe that that dungeon has nothing too new and exciting than the old dungeons. There's nothing really to it. It's still get in there, kill, you're done. But the beauty of it is that when you're just struggling through level 40 and 50, you run so many instances over and over and over, and it just becomes so monotonous. And they're all just really bad. You got, I mean, this is my opinion, but you got Maradin, you got, what's that?
Alderman, for sure.
Alderman,
That one's
BRD.
stupid. BRD.
Blackrock Depths, I just really
We
get sick of.
We do enjoy Blackrock Spire for the fact that, and I don't know if I'm speaking for you by saying that, but
Yes.
we both like it because it's rather new to us with the Dungeon Finder, because before the Dungeon Finder it was never something that we would go out of our way to do. But now that we're almost necessarily quote-unquote being forced to do it with the Dungeon Finder, it's opened our eyes to a great dungeon with some cool mobs, some cool mechanics of moving around the place, and definitely some great drops. So that's rather new to us and something that we kind of enjoy in that, time frame of leveling.
Yeah, so that's another exception to the 40 through 58 block, but there's just a huge refreshment that I love about going to Hellfire Peninsula and running that first dungeon. There's some great loot that just takes your gear way up in Hellfire Peninsula, but when you even run Hellfire Ramparts, that gear is almost doubled, and that you'll see such a sustained amount of damage gone up when you put that new gear on, and it looks so much better. It has fresh new models that Burning Crusade released. So Hellfire Ramparts, not the most exciting dungeon to run over and over and over, but it's my favorite because I have great memories of doing it. It's my first actual new dungeon in the Burning Crusade, one I always look forward to after coming through from the 40 to 58 boring, same old monotonous stuff I've been doing all the time. So it's just a nice big refresher. It reminds me, hey, the game's picking up now. This dungeon's actually really fun. It has some strategy to it, and by that time, in almost every class, you're at a really good point in your character where you're hitting hard, you're healing good, or you're just tanking just exceptionally, and you just notice your character picking up with new gear and new content like right away.
And there's so much good with that too, because you're getting to the end of your talent tree, and you mentioned the gear. It's not as much of a jump as, say, beginning of Lich King or beginning of Cataclysm, but it's the most noticeable one, because although you're getting good gear with the Dungeon Finder, you're getting, a satchel of helpful goods bracers, which are +9 agility, stamina, crit, or whatever, and now you're really taking it up to the high 10s, low 20s of pluses, which at that level, when you're being introduced to Death Knights, which are, when you first enter Ramparts, I think a little bit overpowered, but they help tank for sure, and they help Q times significantly in tanking, which, I've noticed healers are the hardest to find in Burning Crusade content, but, I think that that's just the glory of it. I think it's weird though in that dungeon that when you kill, I think his name's Omar, that's technically the achievement, but really the dragon Narzan
Yes.
is the final boss. So
I never understood that either. That just every time I get that achievement, I think I still have
one more boss
the
to kill.
biggest part of the dungeon to do.
And you don't get the satchel until you kill the dragon, which is also weird because the chest loot comes with the dragon, which is unusual to say the
Maybe you
least.
just have to kill one of them if we would go straight, and then maybe we'd get the achievement for killing him too. Just depends on which one you kill first.
Should try that sometime. That would be
Probably,
fun.
but it's gotta convince the group to do
Yeah,
that.
we should work on our persuasion techniques.
And as far as you have 2 favorite dungeons.
I have 2. I did my research, and I have 2, and I have not necessarily stories, but reasoning. Very valid reasoning. Number 1, I'll start with Shattered Halls. Goes along with your Hellfire Ramparts. Shattered Halls is the last Hellfire Peninsula dungeon, and it was extremely memorable in the fact that although it was extremely linear, it was linear with a little bit of side. And what I mean by that is that you would go down one path, take a left, I think, and then a right, which is irrelevant rather, but each room had like 4 quadrants of mobs, which you would have to kill, pull away from the heat vent or whatever. I don't remember the mechanics, it's been a very long time. But the number 1 reason why I like Shattered Halls is because back in the day when I was a young lad, going through that for the first couple times, watching Wow Hobbs videos, he picked up the trinket Figurine of the Colossus, and he would do speed runs of dungeons, and his health would go from 0 to 100% in a matter of seconds. And I will link the Figurine of the Colossus in the description of this video because not many people are aware of it. But that's one reason why I love that dungeon. It made me want to achieve something greater than I was able to at that time. And it reminds me of good times being motivated to reach that higher step. And my second one is Halls of Reflection. Back in, when I was first getting my first really high character, really high gear score back in the day, Halls of Reflection, when it came out, blew my mind. The fact that you had to kill those rounds of ghosts was almost like a tournament, rather. I mean, obviously there's Trial of Champions and Crusader and whatnot, which is more of a tournament, but it seemed like more of a fighting style death match. And then you got the first boss, and then after that you got that huge mob that spawned clones of you. Blew my mind the first time. I didn't know what was going on. I thought that it was mind control at first, but it was just spawning clones. And then to have the Lich King chase you, the Lich King chase you, was absolutely incredible. The first time I did that dungeon, it was on my Paladin, and I had no clue what to do. I believe I was ret just because I was playing safe and I didn't want to screw up healing or tanking when I did it, and I totally died in that Lich King aura because I had no clue what it was. I played it when it was like freshly fresh. I was one of the first people on the realm to do it, so nobody really knew the mechanics. So it was one of those things where I just remember being the first to do that and learning the mechanics as I went and played. So that also combined with the loot of Pit of Sairn, Forge of Souls, and Halls of Reflection makes those 2 my favorite dungeons. Now, I don't know if you have any input on that, but
obviously I haven't gotten to say that I've done all too much endgame stuff. We already talked about this, that I have a trouble with sticking with one character, and when I do hit the max level, actually gearing them up. But I have seen a ton of footage, either you playing or others playing Halls of Reflection, and that was the first time Blizzard has ever done a dungeon that, not the first time, but it was just something totally fresh, unseen. I mean, you can quote on that you were not waiting for the Lich King to chase you out. You saw some interaction with him, but you did not expect for there to be a moment where he's going to be actually chasing you. You could say that you were being chased by Arthas. When
I first saw it, I thought we were going to have to fight him, and I'm like, wait a second, I'm in a dungeon group, not a raid. And then I looked at his health, and then I looked at my group composition, and we all had, because it was early endgame content for that expansion, we all had like the tank had like 35,000 health, so I'm like, oh boy, we're gonna get waxed here. And then it turns out you chase him, and it was fun to do the glitch where you chased him after the after a while they fixed that, and then it got rather boring after doing that once a day for your daily heroic. But the first couple of times it blew my mind, and every time I did that I learned something new about it, and it blew my mind even more. So that I just have such great memories with that. And yeah.
And so just a heads up, we are starting a new thing here. We're going to be throwing in a different World of Warcraft sound in each video. Right now you're hearing Nagrand. One of my favorites. I absolutely love questing in Nagrand, and the music brings back a ton of nostalgia, and I hope that for you WoW music listeners that you get that feeling too. Nagrand, I don't think a lot of people can say they dislike the zone, so we chose that music. It's one of our favorites between the two of us. And get ready also for a intro to some of our videos. They won't be long and obnoxious like some things. It's we're not even going for above really
10 seconds. Yeah.
So get ready for that, and get ready for in each new video a new World of Warcraft song. We're trying to pick some ones that are going to bring back some nostalgia and kind of make you think, oh man, I haven't leveled in the zone where this music plays a lot, and kind of get you back into the magical feeling that World of Warcraft brings.
And a lot of what we're trying to do is get you guys to interact. So what we need from you guys, if you want to hear a song, let us know. If sometimes we're going to play a song and we're going to ask for you to tell us which song it is or what zone it's from. And to go inside with that, we have our guild on Stonewall US, the Daily Azeroth. We have a Facebook page. Link will be down below. And we just want to hear what you guys think. We realize that we're playing Nagrand music when we're questing in Ashenvale, and yeah, you could argue that they're both kind of tree-like, foresty areas, but really we're just trying to expand our horizons. We have plans to do some videos with webcams and backgrounds, which I'm not going to discuss the topic for, but we have 2 videos in the works that are specifically topicked that are going to be great. We're going to show our faces. We're going to be showing some great content, some great footage, and great stuff for you guys to be watching.
Great footage of one of our favorite quests in the entire game. Goes a long time back. We do this every time we can.
Every time we play Horde, we do this quest. So, little teaser, it's a Horde quest, and I'll give you a clue. It's before level 20. Well, should be before level 20.
Should be.
So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, we need your feedback on what topics you want us to talk about, and we really want you guys to be a part of the show. Like yesterday's video, I mentioned a comment that I received and brought that to light in the video. So anything that you guys comment, we will respond to everything. So send us a message or a comment. We will be more than happy to talk with you guys personally and all that good stuff. You had something to say?
Just one last thing. We truly appreciate any good feedback that you give us. Regardless of any feedback, we're not doing this for any other reason besides the fact that A, it gives us something to do, and B, we love talking about World of Warcraft. So it is a good feeling to come on and see some likes, see some subscribers, and even just see some just good ratings.
Views. Just to see views.
Just views. So it's exciting for us. You don't need to do anything really for us. We're not asking too much. So if you have the chance, you're logged into a YouTube account and you just listen to this video as background noise, and you want to subscribe. If you really don't think that you'll be watching this all the time, you do not need to, but just remember, it would make us very happy. It would keep us going and keep us motivated, because our only really reason for making these videos is just because we love to talk about it, and we love seeing people who are just basically like us.
And we've noticed that stuff that we're doing isn't as often on the internet as it should be. And we got a comment, you liked it the other day, where
yes.
How did it go?
We had a gentleman on Reddit say that he really likes these videos because he loves to listen to people talk about World of Warcraft while he plays World of Warcraft, something I love to do. But there's not enough videos that just talk about the game itself. Everything's about level 85, best this, best that, just maybe news that you already know about. This is just simple, hey, what's your favorite this, what's your favorite that, make you think about the game, make you go back to the days of playing it when you first started. Just whatever memories you can make. We're trying to just talk about the game that we've all been playing for so many years and love.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. So once again, guys, we appreciate you watching. We hope that you enjoy the video. If you guys have any recommendations on topics, suggestions on how to make it better, anything in the world, leave us a message, leave us a comment. Somehow, let us know.
Loktar.
As always, thanks for watching. For the Horde.